Cindy, you don't want to try?
I still can't see everybody because I haven't transferred over, so I don't even know who's on even to begin with. So with the phone, it's hard.
Okay.
I'm gonna need Ken to help me to figure that out one day, but I keep saying that, don't I, Louisa? I need to figure it out. You're making me very nervous.
It's
I
all
feel like
good.
I have to sit next to somebody doing it and watch it once or something. Does that sound silly? I feel like I'm better visually because I
Kenny,
have
can you
no
turn on
idea.
the AI note taker and then that can be a guide maybe as Cindy's going back through her notes?
I'll take the minutes so we can move on.
Oh, thank you,
Gladys.
Ms. Cooper.
Okay, so let me turn so the first item on the agenda is the general committee and the district updates. I'll turn it over to Mike.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Almeida. Everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, nope, not share. I want a slideshow. There we go. All right. So, thank you, everyone. We have really just two big items on the agenda today, general community and district updates. There's a few little things that I'm going to talk about in here. And the other one is just an overview and a plan of how the Board of Education meeting is going to go at Haystown next week. I just want to make sure everybody feels good about where to go, where to park, where to go in, and all that kind of important information. So I asked Ann Mead. Ann Mead wasn't able to join us tonight, so she gave me all the big updates. So I'm going to go through these, and forgive me, I don't have all the depth of detail that Ann would have if she were here. So I've got her email address there right at the bottom. So if you have any questions or want any more information, just feel free to email Ann straight away, and she'll get back to you. So coming up March 28th at Rogers Park, there's an early childhood resource fair. And actually, when Minnie comes on, it's going to be her organization, I believe, that is putting that on. So she can probably give a little bit more context for that one. April 13th, the Board of Ed Danbury Collective. There's going to be a planning session about knowing your numbers. It's about how to set measurement and measurable goals for our collective impact effort. April 17th, we have an event Mike calls Strong Dads Workshop. These are going to be school-based. It's basically a workshop for dads. And they'll be happening at a few different schools around the district. April 24th at the Amber Room, 7:30 to 9. There is the VNA Health Spring Breakfast. That is AM, the spring breakfast. VNA provides these free health clinics to our incoming students, but this is a great event. There's an auction, there's a breakfast, there's some speakers. It's a nice event. We went last year. I got outbid on a few things. So, but you buy some raffle tickets. It's a good time. April 25th, Rogers Park. We have Family University. It'll be about healthy eating and living at Rogers Park. And then April 30th at Broadview, we have a program called Hidden in Plain Sight about drug awareness at home and helping parents start to identify the new look of drugs and vapes and all the things that we may not understand or be aware of that are contraband. So some exciting news. We've been accepted into the Northeast Farm to School Initiative in Shelburne, Vermont. So the district's Farm to Table team will attend and will be able to strengthen the district's farm to school work. The kids actually put together a really cool video, and I'm hoping this works. I tested it earlier. I'm going to show a little bit. Everybody see my screen with the video on? Okay, here we go.
Danbury High School is proudly involved with Connecticut Farm to School.
It is an institute to help strengthen ties between our classrooms, cafeteria, and community.
We start here, Danbury High School, West Kennedy, and our Academy of Clean Energy and Green Design.
We are growing produce to serve our student body, both in the cafeteria and in the Hatter's Cafe at the main campus.
Heading over to Danbury High School main campus. In our Academy of Professional and Public Service, the culinary pathway turns that same harvest into learning.
Bringing it all together, we collaborate with the Danbury Farmers Market and provide cooking demonstrations, samples, and shared community meals.
In our classrooms, cafeterias, and with support from our community, together we grow food and confidence.
We've started strong, but to expand our gardens and programs, we need your support.
Join the Danbury High School Farm to School team.
Learn how you can help here and
And
grow
grow
with
with
us.
All right. So fun video there from the kids. So we're very excited about that one. And Anne will be providing more information about that as it develops and grows. And we'll be reporting back after that team goes up to Vermont in June. And then this is just a heads up, upcoming Saturday garden workshops at Park Ave, Morris. Park Ave, Morris and Park Ave will be beginning on Saturdays coming soon. We're recruiting community members and families to share their knowledge and help the garden beds. If you want to join, the recruitment flyer is linked here. And I'll make sure everybody gets this. I'll actually put this link in the chat. So if you want to take it and share it, you can do that.
Mike, could you drop the video link in the chat or send it later? Because I think there was some lag time on it, the way that it
okay.
came through on the video. And I've heard it before, and it's definitely a lot smoother with some music in the background.
Oh, it was smooth. Okay, I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. I mean, it could just be me, but in case that happened to anybody else, it'd be good to have the video if you
Yep.
wanted to promote it.
Absolutely.
I figured, yep.
Yeah. All right. My apologies for that. I tested it like 3 times today. I was like, it works, but I was by myself. So, all right. So this is something I wanted to talk about here. This is going to come up again in sites Wednesday prior to our BOE meeting, but I know we're really going to be stretched for time on Wednesday because we are meeting at Haystown. Assuming we start on time, there's a number of business items and updates that I want to provide the committee. And we're going to be doing a little tour of the school with myself, Rich Jalbert, Sean Hanley, and Principal Ellen Paolino. So I just want to make sure we have time for everything. So I thought I'd start with this tonight because in my view, this was probably one of the biggest items that was on the updates list for sites. So I thought if we talked about it here, then, it might just take a little bit less time when we get into sites on Wednesday. So this is something we've been talking about now for probably 2 years. As we knew the Board of Ed offices were going to be opening up at our current location at 40 Apple Ridge, we knew that we would be vacating the building at 63 Beaverbrook. And the big question, of course, was, well, what's going to happen to that building? And over the course of the last year and a half, we had a few different ideas for it. We thought about putting Reach and Endeavor in there at one point and then ran into some challenges with zoning. And then with the adult education program, we realized that that was something that we could do. We could satisfy the code requirements of the building and also the zoning requirements of that part of the community. So as of, I guess, December, January last year, we went back to an architect. We said, okay, we think we finally nailed it down. We're going to do adult ed there. They came up with some drawings. And we are now just waiting on a final word back from the city of Danbury to make sure our zoning variance goes through. And then we can actually commence the rest of the work on the building. So if you remember, this is the floor plan of the old building. On the left side there is the door that that most of the staff would walk in, but at the bottom there is the center door where the public would walk in, and then on the right there is the old boardroom, the big square. And if you look at those on the top level there's those 4 squares that are sort of chopped up like a little lunchbox. So those were the offices. Once upon a time, the upper left there, that was the HR office. It later became payroll. The upper right office there was the special ed office. The lower right was finance, and the lower left was accounting and accounts payable. So those were suites. And basically the plan is that those suites, once upon a time, this building was a school. And those were classrooms that were ultimately chopped up to become offices, and now we're just taking out those walls, those interior walls, and restoring them back to the classrooms. Downstairs, same thing. There's rooms down there. These will probably be much less used for classrooms, certainly at the outset, more for like testing rooms, resource rooms, things like that. But we'll be blowing out some of those walls and just making larger spaces so that there's real learning in areas in there, places for computers, test taking rooms, all the different things that you would need in the We Race Adult Ed program. All right. So when the construction is done, it's going to look like that. So all those red lines are now the perimeters of the new rooms. So there'll be 4 big rooms upstairs plus the boardroom. The left side is essentially going to stay the same. That's where the different offices will be, the copier room, some of the counselors, the secretary, Rick Rayusi, all those, they'll just use the existing office setup as is, which is great. We don't have to spend additional money on that. And downstairs as well, that's the open space that we'll have when the work is complete. There's still some conversations about whether we're going to have some IT presence down there. We still have our server down in the basement area there. So there's some talk about moving it, but no firm decision has been made yet. So this is really exciting. We've been able to do this, and some of the early estimates we got were very off-putting. We were hearing numbers in the tens of millions of dollars range to convert this into a school, just because of all the code updates you needed to have children in that space. And we were able to do it for significantly less once we decided to just kind of keep a lot of the existing structures. Taking out these walls was really about just replacing flooring. And then, of course, you have to replace the ceiling as well, because that all comes down and the lighting. And then you have to do a very, very minimal amount of HVAC because you're not making it smaller where everything needs a supply and a return. You're making it bigger where there's 4 or 5 different supply and returns in there. So really, you're just making sure that the air is balanced within that space. You don't have to add a whole lot of HVAC and duct. So we're very excited. This is going to be starting very shortly. Like I said, we're just waiting on the zoning variance, which is in progress. The total cost is about $255,000. Construction is going to be March through June of 2026. And we're hoping everybody will move in July and August. We're going to be ordering some new desks and furniture and everything just to make it feel like a really whole new building. And we'll be vacating the space that they are currently using on Crosby Street. So that's the big thing that is happening right now. And again, we were going to talk about that in sites, and I'll still give it a sort of cursory mention on Wednesday. But I wanted to make sure that there was an opportunity to just think through it, not feel rushed, and ask any questions. Yes, Juanita, I see a hand up.
Thank you, Mike. Let me begin by asking you, since we've brought sites and facilities issues into the community meeting, I'd like an update on Endeavor and Reach.
Sure.
And their location.
Yeah.
Beginning in September.
So we had a couple really good meetings with the realtor for a space that was over on Shelter Rock Road. And we went and saw the space. Rich, Kelly, myself, a few other people went over there. We walked the space. We really liked it. And there was one hiccup, and the broker said, "Listen, I think I can work through this hiccup." It was a land use restriction that had been in place due to some just how close it was in proximity to the Metro North railroad tracks that were right there. He said, I think I can work with Connecticut Department of Environmental Protection. I think we can get this adjusted so that it'll be appropriate for that space. Last I heard, we were not able to do that. That was some information I got just in the last few days. So I have a conversation planned with him to see if there's any other way that we can approach that restriction. And if not, then we're going to be back to the drawing board looking at an additional space. We keep adjusting our parameters, thinking about our different needs. Could we compromise a little bit on whether they have to go upstairs, whether the elevator is too far away, whether there's more money that we can spend on these issues. So we keep sort of adjusting the sliders on the requirements there. But we have not yet been able to pin that down. I was really hopeful about that Shelter Rock space. But the last conversation we had was that it's not likely. So, like I said, I have another conversation scheduled in the next few days, and I'll know a little bit more at that time.
Okay, and so my second question is, over at Beaver Brook, when you're talking about replacing walls, the ceilings, I'm sorry, the floors, the ceilings, there is a big possibility that you're going to run into asbestos.
Hmm.
And so has that been figured in to the
Yep.
255,000?
Yeah, to my knowledge, there's no. They've already done the inspection, and I'll need Rich to verify this, but there's been no mention of remediation at this time. If it does, we'll address it as it emerges. But there does not appear to be anything at this time that needs to be remediated. And again, I will confirm with Rich and the team on that. If they did encounter anything, it would have been built into this estimate.
Okay, I'm just hoping that that's a guarantee. And so with the $255,000, where are those funds coming from?
Those are coming out of our maintenance and repair budget.
So was that in the financial report at the meeting yesterday?
I don't know.
You think?
Yeah, I wasn't in that conversation yesterday.
So
Okay,
just, I can maybe help clarify. So Rich Jalbert has his own line item in the regular budget for over the course of the year. And so as projects emerge, there's planned projects and then projects that are potentially anticipated, and then there's unanticipated. And so Rich will use his line for all of the planned projects. And as the year unfolds, if there's more in there that he has room for, he'll continue to use that. And if there's leftover or excess funds also at the end of the year, those can be used for projects like this as well. But this was something that had been talked about since last year. So I believe this project in particular,
Yeah.
a portion of it is in there. And I think we were all surprised to see how much we could get done for 255,000 to make it operable for another program. If we had, I think you remember, if we had included students in this, it's a completely different ball game because of the requirements of under 18.
Mhm.
So this was sort of a facelift and some cosmetic changes on the inside to make it clean it up and make it appropriate for the kind of space that an adult ed program would need.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would hope that you would reach out to Rich or whoever is responsible for that budgeting of the 255 and make sure that any remediation work is included in that, that you would not be coming back to the board for
Sure.
additional funds um,
Yep.
because now we're remediating or prices now have gone
Yeah.
up. Thank you.
Yep, we will certainly do our due diligence on that. And then just to add to what Kara was saying, we did anticipate this when we were putting last year's budget together. So we did increase the maintenance and repair budget by a little bit. Rich will typically get something, $900,000, depending on the year and what we know is coming up due for repair. So we gave a little bit extra to his budget last year because we anticipated that this was going to be a project that we'd be taking on. So it all worked out. All right. Okay, so now I want to move on. I'm sorry, there was another hand up. Was it Louisa? Did you have your hand up?
It was me, but Juanita beat me to it. I had the exact same question she did about the asbestos.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
I'll report back if I hear anything. Okay, so BOE meeting plan and logistics. So just quick timeline. This is next Wednesday. The sites meeting starts at 6. We'll be doing about a 30-minute business meeting in the gym. There's a few different action items I want to talk about with the rental fund and just give some more general updates on some of the projects that we're doing. And then we're going to do about a 20-minute tour of Haystown. It'll be Principal Ellen Palino, Rich Jalbert, myself. I believe Sean Hanley's going to be there from the city. And we may even have a few other folks from the facilities team just to provide color and shape to everything that you're seeing, so you can kind of see what's behind the school and how it's working to serve the needs of the kids. And that'll give us about 10 minutes to take a little water break, go to the bathroom, whatever, and then come back into the gym for the 7 o'clock BOE meeting.
Question?
Yep. Go ahead.
And it might be more for Ken. Will there be an opportunity for virtual for the Board of Ed meeting?
So I actually have that coming up here in a future slide. So this one will not be recorded or streamed, but we will have some translation devices that will be providing real-time translation, and we will have sound through a portable PA system. So we'll be having pretty much the experience of a board meeting won't feel very different in the room, except that we won't have it streamed or recorded.
Do we have enough microphones? That was a concern that brought up at
Yep.
the last meeting.
Yep, we're able to use a lot of the ones that we had at Beaver a few years ago. We bought some supplemental microphones because we didn't have enough at the time. So I think we bought, Kenny, what was it, 8 more that we bought that were wireless. So we can take that whole unit and it's portable and set it up in a different space. And then we have a small portable PA system with speakers that we're going to plug into. And then I found a few more and bought a few more mics just to have kind of around the room, whether it's, one of the staff tables or to, just to cover the rest of the board members. So everybody will have a mic in front of them and it'll be wired through the PA system. Yeah, Juanita.
I think this is either a question for Louisa or for Kara. Can we legally have a Board of Ed meeting that is not streamed or recorded?
Yes,
Yes. Yeah.
yes.
As long as we're taking the minutes at the meeting, we don't have to have it streamed or recorded.
And it's public session, so the meetings are noticed, the
Yep.
public is invited, there's an open public session.
Correct.
Yeah,
And the door is
the
open.
streaming is a more modern addition, but not a requirement.
Could I ask a question? Will board members be able to get on by Zoom?
We should be able to have a laptop available. Yes. The quality, some of the concern would be around, so if we are in the gymnasium, whether or not there is a strong Wi-Fi signal there is, each building is very unique. Some of our buildings are rather old that don't have as strong as systems in certain locations of the building. So depending where we're located, there may be more challenge in some schools than others. Haystown, having wireless available. I think we may be able to have maybe a hotspot or something like that to accommodate that, Gladys.
I think
Mike,
for
again, I want to add. My question is, if I get sick at 3 o'clock and I can't make the board meeting, is it any way that I can be hooked up to Zoom?
I believe so, Gladys.
Okay.
I believe so. The rest of, since it's not streamed, no one else will see it, but you can be set up at the table.
I would just add that the concern is that the amount of bandwidth a streaming video takes up is much more significant than what a Zoom connection would be. So I feel fairly confident that a Zoom, we could have the owl set up in there. And at the very least, the audio would be working. We could set that up through a hotspot. And we could even run that through a cell phone if we really needed to and have that connected to a mic. So Kenny and I'll come up with a few troubleshooting scenarios just in case that sort of issue arises. But I don't anticipate it being a problem.
Thank you.
Louisa, was your hand up?
Yeah, I just wanted to just point out that, these schools were already scheduled for Spotlight. So we really didn't have the opportunity to kind of vet beforehand which schools may have been better suited for on-location board meetings. But hopefully coming into September, we can kind of take a look at the schedule and see like which ones will work better. So it's really, I want to thank everybody for this because this is incredible. But it is a work in progress. So we're probably going to spend the next few months kind of tweaking and switching and kind of seeing what fits and what doesn't fit. So, you know, and all input is welcome. So thank you.
Just a comment. It's not about everything working perfect as we go along. It's some things as we go along to do this that I'm thinking about as we spotlight our school and we spotlight Hayes Town. The parents that children attend Hayes Town, they're going to be coming to the meeting. So again, my question is, who do we think that's going to be additional to sit in our meeting? And as we move forward, are we going to highlight the schools this more than our elementary schools? We're talking about the ROTC. We're talking about schools or student reps that come to our board meeting. And some of the students don't even drive. Their parents have to bring. So, you know, I'm just not talking about just one place, Hayes Town. I'm just talking about as we move forward, it's going to take a lot of tweaking. And I can't think of a parent coming from Shelter Rock or coming from Pembroke over to Hayes Town to a board meeting. So just something that we really need to think about.
Those are great points, and we'll address that as we continue moving forward.
All right. Okay, so I'm gonna go back a couple slides here, just to the general plan and logistics. I went ahead and I put together a little map of the building just so everybody can get an orientation here. I'm confident everyone's been to the school, but there are two entrances which can be a little confusing if you haven't been there. When you're coming up Tamarack, the impulse is to turn into this first driveway here on the left, and that is the lower level, and that is where the gym is. So we are holding here BOE and handicap parking, but it is limited. But we will be saving spots for handicap and as many board members as we can fit. How many board members can we fit there? Well, we won't know until we see how many teachers stay for the meeting, because that is a teacher lot right here that gets filled up during the day. But we're going to, we have the advocate going out to put cones there as people leave. And then we'll have that advocate stationed right out here at this blue arrow, and he will usher people in as long as there are spots. And then when there are no more spots, people have to go up and come around here. You turn on Oak Lane, and then you come down to where the roundabout is here. And there's parking all in this area on this top yellow box here for general parking. So depending on which entrance you enter in, this public entry level here is on the upper level, and the gym is actually on the lower level. So if you come in here right off Tamarack and you park right here, you'll be able to walk right into the gym. It'll be 10-15 steps, and you'll be right at your seat. If you come this way, you'll be in the upstairs area, and then this is where you'll enter. You'll come right down here. You can either use these stairs here, or you can come down and use our new elevator, which is at the end of this hallway. The safety advocate will take you down, and then you'll walk right back out over here to, this is where the gym is right here. So you'll just go down the hallway. So if you get there early, I think there's a really good chance you'll get into this staff parking area here. And if you get there right before the board meeting, there's probably a better, more likelihood that you'll end up here in the general parking. But both of these are available. We'll have a safety advocate hit at the main entrance here, the public entry. We'll also have a safety advocate here at the gym, letting select people in down by this gym entry here. So any questions about the logistics?
So let me be clear. If I park right in the front, and I think I've been over there,
Mhm.
and you can enter in the first front door, you can go straight to the gym. Am
Yes,
I correct? Okay.
correct.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Yep. Yeah, you'll be right back here, Gladys. We're gonna make sure you have a spot right back here by the door. All right.
Oh, Mike, I have a quick question.
Yep.
On the translating devices,
Yeah.
because I know we've never had translators at our board meetings, at least the last 5 years that I've been on the board. So can you kind of, are these the AI ones that we
Yeah.
have? And how do they actually work?
So yeah, that's a great question. We have the AI devices, but we haven't fully tested them, so I'm not comfortable putting them into play yet. The current AI devices we have, it's one device per phone. So the person using the device has to have the app on their phone, they have to download it, then it has to sync through Bluetooth. It can be a little cumbersome. If someone's pretty savvy, they can do it probably in a minute or two. But if we're trying to, coach a group of 15 people through it, it may get a little clunky. So Ken and I are doing some testing, and we're also reaching out to the company to see if they have a sort of hub that would let us control, 10 devices at once. We don't think the AI ones are quite ready for prime time in the board meetings until we do a little bit more testing with them. So we're going to be using the other translation devices. One of the ELP teachers there is going to be staying to do real-time translation, and these are the ones that we have used in the past when we have translators. It's those. They look like the UN earpieces. You just hold it. There's a person kind of standing off to the side doing real-time translation. There's no time lag. It's just it's real time, and the person is translating, and then anybody who has the earpiece can hear it. So we'll be using those devices at this meeting. And then over the course of the year, as we work out any bugs with the AI devices or figure out a more fluid way to use them, we'll slowly start testing those in the meetings until we feel confident that those can fully replace the real-time translator.
So is this something we want to incorporate in our board meetings on site as well? Or is this something that, I mean, if we're going to offer it, is this something that we want to offer full-time?
We certainly could. I would leave that up to the board to decide if that's something that they want to do. It is bringing in another person. It is somebody who would be getting paid hourly to stand there and do the real time translation. But if it's something we decide we want to do, we could certainly move forward with it.
Okay, just a thought. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. I think I got everything on this slide here. Additional custodian will be there to help with setup and cleanup, so the typical night custodian there isn't distracted from normal duties. Translation, yeah, 2 safety advocates. Sound. Meeting will not be recorded. So I think that's all I have. That's my presentation.
Does anyone else have any questions for Mike? Any comments? Well, I want to thank everybody for coming on tonight. I think there was a good start of the Community Relations Committee, and I really look forward to, I had some questions at the beginning of posting the board meeting in a different location, but as we go through it, I think we're headed in the right direction. And I think also gives us an opportunity to look forward to other locations. So I just want to wish everybody a good night and be safe out there, whatever you're doing. Thank you.
We need
Thanks,
a motion
everybody.
to adjourn.
Oh, thank you, Gladys.
I
Is there a
motion to adjourn. I motion to adjourn.
It has to come from the members. So it would be Minnie or Sherry.
That was me.
Sydney?
Yes, I motion to
Okay,
adjourn.
Sydney made a motion. Who seconded?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.